guy, what it does, what you guys have to do?
Well, we couldn't go to the basket that much. Coach wanted us to do a lot of pull-up jump shots. Just box them out, bang them, do whatever we can to keep them out of their box.
Anything to add?
Like just his presence being there, just major for us. We ain't never come across one. Like that was our first time with a 7-2.
Was he better than you thought?
Yeah, a lot better.
You talk
I
about
never
that?
really saw him play. Like this is my first time. I always heard about him, but I didn't know he was had all the moves and stuff like that.
Marquise, was there any way, what was the closest that you could come to kind of simulating that in practice, going against someone like that? I mean, how do you practice something like that?
Try to bring the biggest guy you know to practice.
Who was that? Did you find somebody?
Nah.
Someone off the street or?
The trainer had crutches. And he put the crutches up every time we go to the basket, and we shoot over the crutches.
Okay.
That's about it.
So in practice you did that?
Yeah.
It was a little different though with Zubik?
Yeah.
What do you think about today's game? The way you played, Haddonfield came out, strong on you. Give me some comments about that, your performance.
We really couldn't get it going in the beginning. We wasn't on. We tried to pick it up our best second half. That's all we said.
Give me some of your feelings about the entire season.
Central had a great season. I'm happy to be here. I'm a transfer. And I'm just glad to be here with them. We've been through a lot of ups and downs. And it's just big even being here. So I'm just glad we're here.
Stacey, you guarded Zubek. I don't know most of the game. What was that? What was it like trying to defend a guy like that?
It was a good experience. Decent half my size. Just being strong and playing the whole game. Containing.
Did you ever guard anybody more difficult than him?
Nah, that's my first time. It wasn't that hard. It was easy. It was just being strong and boxing out in front and don't let them get possession.
How compared to the rest of their ability surprise you, their ability to pass the ball, their ability to shoot the ball beyond Zubek? What's your take on the rest of the game?
Yeah, they really stepped up. Besides him, when he kicked it out to him, they made the open shot. They did a great job of making the open shot. We didn't really expect them to do as much. We wanted to contain Zubak and let the other guys do their thing, but they just got too wild for us, and they hit a lot of good shots.
Mm-hmm.
Best to them. Good luck for them in the tournament of champions.
Marquise, how would you evaluate your 1 year at Newark Central in terms of overall?
I think it was one of the best things I've ever, personally, I think this was a great decision for me. I think I made a good run here overall. I'm happy.
What was the biggest difference going from a high-profile program to a good Essex County team, but a different kind of a situation?
They taught me a lot there, discipline and all that. And I came to Newark Central, and me and him both, we both transferred. So me and him knew what to expect. We came here to try to help out, and it was just great being a leader here.
How was the rest of that team, Marquise? What would you say the rest of the Haddonfield team?
We were focused on mainly Zubak and Princeton guard, 6'3", what's his name?
Blake Wilson.
Yeah, we focused on both of them. But the whole team, they came correct. They was a team. They did more than I thought they would do. They surprised me. His team stepped up. It wasn't just them two. They played as a team. Gotta give them their credit.
Was getting to this state final at the beginning of the season, the first state final Central's been in 20 years. Is that something that you guys thought was a realistic goal back in November, December?
Wow. It really surprised all of us, but once we began the season 4-1, we had a lot of confidence, and once we started getting wins in the playoffs, and me and him already had the experience of being here at the RAC and went to the TOC final. So we just brought what we knew to everybody else and tried to help everybody else get through the playoffs. And we did pretty good so far. I'm proud of everybody.
Alcabar, what about not having the usual third member in your backcourt last few games, Leonard? What change did that make for you and Marquise?
Well, it would have been a better game, I think, if Daquan was here, but yeah, he messed up. But him being here would have been a lot more pressure on the guards. It would have been hard for them to get the zoo back. He could penetrate and kick it outside. It would have been a much easier game, but things happened and we had to go on without him.
Why was he not here?
Well, he got in trouble in school with a teacher or something.
Academic issues.
Yeah.
Did he play in the last game?
No, he did not play the last game.
Marquise, how did that change for you without Daquan?
The game's more faster with Daquan. I think we'd have ran the floor like quickly, and Zubac wouldn't have been able to like run up and down, up and down, up and down. It'd have been a lot faster. We'd have wore him out and everything. But I think James Richardson, like he held his own. I think he did a great job.
The one thing you guys were able to do in the first half was get a lot of turnovers. For all that they did, they committed about 13 turnovers in the first half. So I guess that part of your game was something you guys were able to accomplish, right?
Were you guys surprised though by the way they recovered off turnovers?
Yeah.
Where they got back and rotated back when they made mistakes?
Yeah, they got back quickly.
Omar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Omar, you know this is Calvin's last season. What were you guys trying to do for Coach Blue his last season? And are you pleased and satisfied with the way you're sending him out?
Well, we just tried to bring Coach Blue since his last season. We tried to bring him a state championship. Unfortunately, we fell short. So, but he said yesterday at practice that no matter what happens, that he was proud of us and that we know that we was gonna go out there and play hard, and we did that. We just unfortunately came up a little short.
And how do you feel, Omar, about being one of the guys responsible for bringing this program back? You guys have been down a long, long time, 2 decades really. And this program is back on the map, which is tough to do this year, in the city of Newark with so many good teams.
Well, I just got to thank Marquise and Alcabed and everybody else for because we had up and down season. Where one game Marquise would be hot, then another game we'll get Alcabed be hot, then I'll be hot. So we just had a nice supporting cast, and that in any given night everybody could score, and that's what I think that brought us this far.
Marquis, you went. I'm sorry.
That's it.
Marquis, you went to Bloomfield Tech.
Yes.
Can you compare this Haddonfield team with Bloomfield Tech? You're probably going to compare because they could play them maybe in the tournament championship.
I can't do that. Like I don't remember. Like from what I know from them before, I don't remember. I can't.
Who do you think's the better team out of these two?
Haddonfield, yeah. They was well trained. They was disciplined.
Omar, you did a nice job on the glass early on too. You had 5 or 6 defensive rebounds in the first half, and you're 6'2", right?
Yeah.
You're going against 7'2". Talk about your ability to get in front of him a couple times and get some rebounds, and how tough it is, and what a demand it is on you physically.
I just try to since I'm a little bit outsmart, I just try to outthink him a little bit and get around him a little bit since I'm a little bit smaller than him. But I just try to go out there and play hard. Cause I knew that if Tamil was going to play him, Tamil wasn't going to be able to get the rebound. I had to come in on the second help and get the rebound. So that's what I've been trying to do all season. So.
You guys gonna be rooting for Shabazz?
Yeah. I'm gonna stay and watch the game. Another time.
Yep.
Congratulations, which title was sweeter out of the 3?
What's that?
Which title was sweeter? Is it sweeter than the other ones, or the first one the best? Or?
I think this one's the best just because it's the 3rd one in a row. And this team's a little different than all the other teams. We got great chemistry this year, so it's real sweet for us this year.
And for us, I mean, we're seniors now. Just to go out like that with the 3rd time winning, it's just unbelievable. And to spend all this time with these guys for 3 years, I've been playing with these guys, and just to have it culminate like this is just amazing.
this is definitely the best one for me too, because I know it's been fun to watch these other guys win the last two, but this is the first one I've really got a chance to contribute to. So it's been a lot of fun for me.
Brian, how was it out there physically?
Oh, it was tough. I mean, they just kept on rotating guys in against me and everybody else, and they just had a lot of depth, and they were able to run the floor really well, and just stay physical with me the whole game, and that's what we got to do.
Say this is tougher than the Collins game?
Being a part of it, or like actually playing just
Playing
the
the
team?
game. Physical.
Definitely not. I mean, the history we have with Collins just makes every game played with them just unbelievably hard, and try to beat them for the third time in one season, once they get used to us and everything like that, and just playing against them is probably the hardest thing we've done all year.
Did that help you in the Collins?
Oh, definitely. I mean, extreme playoff atmosphere. It was a championship game. Playing against a team that tough always helps you down the road.
Ryan, how often this year have you had first halves like this one, where you only scored, set everybody else up, and once they prove that they're going to knock down open shots, then that really opens things up for you?
Yeah, it shows that they're shooters, and I know that they are, and once they start hitting shots, they have to be guarded outside, and I'm open for one-on-ones in the post, and I'm surrounded by a great team, and if I'm not doing it, somebody else will, so because I believe in my guys.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys seem a little subdued after the game. Is this kind of like just a step for you guys, and the tournament champions is what you're really looking at?
I think our focus, well, in the beginning of the year, like you said, we want to come back to this point and win the third state championship. And like you said, we were subdued, and I just think we want to make bigger impact in the TOC than we did last year. Even though we did well last year, we want to try and get a little further.
But really just now, we're just enjoying this right now. I mean, it's our senior year, this is the ultimate goal, everything else is just a bonus.
Blake, how much is the seeding meant to you as far as your seeding for the TOC?
Seeding doesn't really matter at all, just because we're going to come out and play our hardest regardless of who we play or when we play. So the seeding doesn't really matter to us that much at all.
Spencer, you talked about how you're a much bigger contributor to this year's team than the last two. How has your role expanded? What was your role last year, and what's it been this year?
Well, my role last year wasn't really very large. It's pretty much filling up water for these guys. But,
you did a good job.
You can't make a freshman year.
Yeah, that's right. But this year, I worked a lot in the off season on just being able to compliment Brian and Blake as scorers and getting rebounds, just helping out when I can. So that's how I tried to look at this season.
Coach, how difficult was it this third time working the new guys in, not having Vinny and some of the guys before you were familiar with? How difficult was it this year to make this run?
Well, I think going into the year, people thought, well, you're missing a 4-year and a 3-year starter, and particularly at positions that are very critical, the point guard position, and they're kind of, those guys can play the position there. But once I saw us, we were going to play a different style of basketball this year, where we're passing instead of dribbling. It's a different way of playing, and I think it helps us try to get the ball over half court faster, so we're not worried about teams that press us in the backcourt. And obviously, if we get the ball over half court, we have a pretty nice weapon with Brian once we get it over half court. So I think once the scrimmages came around, the practices, I had a pretty good feeling that these guys weren't going to let us down, Dennis and Joey, especially their defense, though, too. I don't think you just have to mention the offensive part of it. Defensively, I think we have such long arms, and we get after you, and they're so unselfish that it's a different way of playing it, and I enjoy coaching that style when the ball's moving fast, so I don't think there was any worries as the season started.
Well, could you talk briefly about Brian and Blake and what they've been able to accomplish in their careers?
Well, I don't think you can truly grasp it yet. I mean, we're in the moment right now, but I have a pretty good background in the history of South Jersey basketball. My dad was a coach, but and knowing all the great teams over the years, Shawnees and Camdens and Middles, public schools that is, that didn't get a chance to win a third state championship in a row. But their will to win is unquestioned. Their leadership skills, they play with different guys now through 3 years, and their roles have changed each year. And this year is more just leadership on and off the court and bringing these guys along. And again, the chemistry was a key word that I think Blake used before, that we really related well to each other on and off the court. And there was just one goal this year, to win a third state championship.
What does it mean to win, 3 in a row, first team to do a public school in like over half a century? Put that in perspective. What does that mean?
I can't truly understand it yet. We talked about it because we say World War II was going on back then, and it's gone full circle here. But it's going to mean a lot down the road, especially put our program on the map again, to be able to compare ourselves with some of the great teams of all time. It's a tribute again to our coaching staff with us, but also obviously the players and the whole program in itself. And these guys, it's kind of the golden era for Haddonfield basketball. And I appreciate, as alumni myself, that seeing these guys come out and give everything they had. I mean, we had blood and sickness, and to get through the battles with Congress, it makes it even more special to win a third state championship. Again, with these type of guys as well, I talked a little bit about them. I love the way they play together. They play the right way. It's unselfishness. They like each other off the court. So everything culminated at the right time, I think, for this team.
Blake, could you talk a little bit about playing with Brian and how you guys have been able to complement each other, and there never seemed to be any jealousy, or you're always looking for each other? And talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, just having a wing guy and a big man that's 7'2", it makes it pretty easy, because you can just dump it in, and when they double down, he's able to kick it out. And for me, for wide open shots, and when they're covering me hard, then he's going to be open with a one-on-one matchup. And we're all confident that he can basically take anybody one-on-one, as you have seen over the years.
Brian, could you talk about the same thing?
Yeah, well, talk about playing with Blake, I think it's a little more than just basketball. For me, I've been playing with him so long, and we complement each other so well that it's just, when I was playing without him, it was just hard for me. Just in terms of, I was missing like another half of myself, because that's how long I've been playing with him. And that's how well we play together, and I think that it's something I'm really going to miss.
Do you feel like this championship right here finally vindicates every year there's a but, if, then, or do you feel like this one, Brian, Blake, especially for you guys, this vindicates the naysayers from every year afterwards that have had something to say?
I think even if our previous accomplishments didn't say something, now everybody's got to say, because this is something that nobody's done in a really long time, and just our achievements speak for themselves.
Brian, how long have you guys been playing together?
We went to elementary school together, so from right when we started basketball.
Which was?
Serious basketball, 5th grade maybe.
5th grade?
Yeah, but we grew up together in kindergarten and elementary school, and we went to different middle schools, but came back and Haddonfield. So.
You guys are in the same kindergarten class?
Yeah, we are.
Like 2 MVPs here and another good performance here. What are you going to miss playing here 3 years in a row? Come back.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss this place. I played pretty well here over the years. It's just great to end it on this note, being a senior and winning a third state championship. So it just sums it all up for us.
Hey, Blake, how do you view the TSC?
How do I view the TSC?
Yeah.
Well, regardless of our seed, which doesn't really matter to us at this point, we feel that we come out and give our best effort and hopefully make a big impact in the TOC and hopefully make the Continental Airlines Arena.
Brian, what do you think?
I feel the same. I mean, we've gone through the process. We've seen people get seeds they might not should have. So we're not expecting anything. Either way, we're going to have to come out and play our game, and we know who we can beat, and we know how we can play. And one of the things that I just noticed that made us not worry about it is because when we beat St. Anthony's, which is just an amazing accomplishment for us, a lot of people would say they weren't as good of a team. Instead, we were that good. They were bashing St. Anthony's instead of saying how good we were. And that just makes us come out and we want to prove it even more. So
you can't wait for the TSC?
Can't wait.
Thanks.